And so for all of these Democrats, hello somebody, who talking about, they want you to have choice. That somehow that the senator's plan is taking away your choice. It might be some babies here, so I'm not going to curse, but let me just say this. He's not, curse away. He's not taking away your choice. You still will have your choice of doctors. Hello, somebody. Your choice of hospital. Come on, somebody. What you will not have to worry about is co-pays, deductibles, and premiums. Oh, your choice is still there. So for the neoliberal class and the folks who are pretending like they really care, the choice to die in the streets is no choice at all. Medicare for all. We're going to deal with this.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so happy to introduce my guest tonight, or today I should say. She's the national co-chair of the Bernie Sanders campaign 2020. Got so many jobs. I'm not sure if she's still president of Our Revolution, but she was doing that too. She's also formerly a state senator of Ohio. She's also made appearances in various shows. She's a superstar. She is our champion. Ladies and gentlemen, Senator Nina Turner. Hey, Nina.
Oh, Tim Black, how are you, darling? Yes, I appreciate you recognizing all of those little titles I had. I'm not at Our Revolution anymore because I'm going full, all the way on this side for the senator, but certainly got a lot of good work done for progressives on the Our Revolution side. So I want to shout out Our Revolution and all the work that they do.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I just want you to know that there are a lot of people watching right now who are they were watching a video of you, speech that you gave in Coachella. You opened up for Bernie Sanders, and that was powerful stuff, Senator Turner.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So let's just jump into it. One of the things that I've been hearing lately, I'm pretty sure you've heard it too, in between stops. Oh, by the way, where are you at now? Are you home or are you on the road?
I finally got a chance to dip back into Ohio, okay. My hometown,
okay.
Cleveland. So I'm here before I hit the road again. I'll be going to Nevada, Iowa, and lots of South Carolina when I'm back.
Amazing, amazing. Well, then that means you've had a little bit of time. Maybe you've been on social media. They've been talking about purity tests, Senator Turner, and I'd like to get your take on this purity test notion that we wanted Medicare for all, us wanting free college tuition, us wanting the end of mass incarceration. That these are purity tests. What's your opinion on that?
I'm gonna keep it PG. Tim Black, I really am. They will come up with any excuse to try to deny the people of this country what certain folks have been fighting for well over 70 years. Medicare for all, to say that in the United States of America, we will have a universal healthcare system where people don't have to grovel, they don't have to beg, they don't have to decide whether or not they can afford their co-pays, their deductibles, or their premiums if they're fortunate enough to have a job. And for our sisters and brothers who have a job but they're underemployed, so they don't have insurance, and then our sisters and brothers who flat out don't have a job. We are going to put an end to that. So if they want to call that a purity test, then let's have at it. But I really don't want the progressives in this country and other conscious-minded folks to fall for the okie doke, and I'm using the technical term, the okie doke, because this is just sleight of hand. It's just another excuse to put up a barrier between us having what we deserve in this country, what is morally and economically right too, Tim Black, because you and I both know that Medicare for all is cheaper and the outcomes are better than the system that we have right now.
Oh, I totally agree with you. I see the percentages, and also I see the number of foreclosures and bankruptcies and homeless folks due to medical bills. To me, it's a travesty, Senator Turner. I don't understand why people go along with it. On the road, what's been your consensus? What are people telling you? Are they in favor of it?
Oh, very much so. They're in favor of it. You hear stories, just really sad stories of people who can't afford their medication. Dr. Dooley, I'm going to give a shout out to Dr. Victoria Dooley, a medical doctor outside of Detroit, And she talks about all the time, she will share stories of patients that come to see her, and they don't even want to, she might give them a diagnosis and tell them what kind of medicine they need. They don't even want to deal with it because they can't afford it. They'll say, doctor, you can prescribe it, but I can't go get my medicine because I can't afford it, or I can't afford to take the test that you, the doctor, are telling me that I need to preserve, not only preserve my life, but maintain a high quality of life. And Tim, that's what we got to get back to. Folks don't need to understand this. You deserve to live a good life, not decent, good. We going for good minimally, and then it's great if we can get it. And the working class and the poor people in this country, we have to look in the mirror and say what we deserve. And so the people of this nation deserve a universal health care system where everybody is in the system and everybody is taken care of. Nobody is left out, so that system is strong. So because if we have a two-tier system like some of these special folks up on the stage talking about, we're going to have more of what we have right now. Even Medicaid, when you walk in and you got Medicaid, that already tells people right there you're poor. Versus having Medicare when you're 65 and over. If all of us have Medicare, then everybody's taken care of. That's what we need, and they deserve it. Completely, listeners, they need to know this. You deserve to have universal health care.
Yeah, it's kind of been astonishing how people who were supposedly supported it, who signed off on it even co-sponsored it, kind of walked it back when it came time to run on it. Senator Turner, I don't understand, like, what's been your reaction to that? I know you've seen it firsthand.
It's called not having conviction. It's called flapping in the wind. It's called going wherever the wind blows. You know, we are fortunate, Tim, to have in Senator Sanders somebody with conviction and somebody with courage. You know, my grandmother used to always say, and a boss that I had too when I worked in the mayor's office in Cleveland, that both of them came from the same school, even though my grandmother was older than this person. But they both said you can't give a man or a woman a spine who don't have one. Mm-hmm. And that's really what we're dealing with. We're dealing with spineless politicians who bend to the will of the system, not bending to the will of the majority of the people in this country who constantly have to suffer. I mean, people respond to you. You're out there too. You're talking to people. People respond. People not being able to have health care in this country because the system is rigged through no fault of their own is not the way we should roll in the United States of America. Now, we know better. We got to do better. It's time out for excuses. And so people who bent to the pressure of the industry, being the pharmaceutical industry, bent to the will of the CEOs of these healthcare companies, and I use that term lightly, the medical industry, something is wrong with these people. We just going to have to say it. And if people change their mind right now, Tim, before they even get elected, they've been into pressure right now. Imagine what they would do when they're elected as president. There's only one person, and I mean that, who has not equivocated on Medicare for all, not one iota, be the pressure of Wall Street, be the pressure of these CEOs, be the pressure of neoliberals, and his name is Bernard Sanders. He is the senator by way of Brooklyn and leads Vermont. That's who we're talking about, and that's the kind of person we need to go into the White House.
I tell you, one of the things that was so moving to me, and I want everybody, encourage everybody to go to Bernie Sanders' channel on YouTube, because there's a video of Bernie taking some folks to Canada, Nita, and that was so riveting. I don't know, were you there? Did you experience that with him? Because that was these people just crossed, over into Canada, and now one lady was able to get insulin for her son at a tenth of the price of what she would pay here in the States.
Oh, my God. I was not with them, but just the excitement, of seeing folks. And, Senator, that was not the first time, Tim, that he took people over to Canada. And, there was I think this young man was either 26 or 27. You may remember his story, where he was rationing his insulin. He did not tell his parents, and he died. Flat out died. There are countless stories like that of people either rationing insulin or other medication that they need to sustain their life. Now, if folks running for the highest office in the land don't get that is immoral, that is unconscionable, that is unacceptable, and more importantly, Tim Black, that is not the way it has to be. We can do it. We are the wealthiest country on the face of the earth. All we need is the will to do it. And again, people need some backbone and some spine. So people suffering all over this country. So the greed and corruption of the corporate class It's astounding.
Wow. I totally agree. One of the things that I think contributes to it, and I'd like to get your opinion on this, I saw that you were wearing a shirt called the Wine Cave. And I think it has to do with people taking money. Senator Turner, I think they take money and that kind of clouds their judgment. What's the difference? I know Bernie runs a grassroots fundraising campaign. But do you think the Wine Cave fundraising and other behind closed doors fundraising with big shots has something to do with our inability to get this stuff done?
Oh, absolutely, Mr. Tim Black. You hit the nail on the head. I'm laughing because my colleague and I, Mr. Jeff Weaver, we were in the spin room after the debate, and our colleague, Ari, this was his design, Pete'sWineCave.com. And we came in there with all our glory, walking up in that spin room. Tim, you should have saw those reporters. They converged. Oh, no, this is real. We taking it to you. The shade is real. We throwing it straight up, throwing the shade. So I know probably all of your viewers, your listeners, they know that Mr. Buttigieg held a high dollar fundraiser in a wine cave laced with Swarovski crystals. And really, it is a symbol, and it's just a symbol of the fact that we really do need campaign finance reform in this country, because money, outside influence of money, is a corrupting force, period. And people who continue to make excuses about this, Tim, I got a quote from Dr. Maya Angelou, and she said the following: do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. Hello, somebody. We know better, Tim. So they can't make excuses anymore. We know better, so we must do better. It is a corrupting force, not one individual, but the system itself. So when smart asses like Mr. Buttigieg, tried to get slick, because he tried to get slick on the stage with Senator Warren, the point of the matter is that the system itself is corrupting. You don't believe it? Let's look at the types of bills that are passed in this country. Who overwhelmingly gets their will done? Who has their bidding done compared to everybody else in the country? So it's not about one individual, as he tried to paint it, when he was flipping off at the mouth to Senator Warren. It is about the entire system itself. And this is what we do know, that these corporations are not putting multi-millions of dollars into hiring lobbyists for nothing. Lobbyists write some of these bills, Tim, as you and I know. Hell, they write most of the bills. That elected officials can be bought and sold in totality. It's the reason why we ain't had no real common sense gun reform in this country. Hello, NRA. That's just one example. You and I could give countless examples. So we need campaign finance reform in this country. That is number one. Number two is, if you know better, do better. We do know better. We must do better. That's number two. Number three is, Senator Bernie Sanders showed the way in 2016, didn't he? He raised $230 million, grassroots dollars, $27 at a time. So any excuse that any of these candidates have that they can't do it this way is a lie. They don't want to do it, because that's the harder way to do it. Because every time somebody gets $5, $12, $18, $27, that's your vote. That means you got to get out among the people. One candidate on that stage, 0 billionaires. His name is Senator Bernie Sanders. His only special interest will be the everyday people of this country. That's it, and that's all.
That's it. That's all. I find it remarkable that there are people who buy into that notion, but we all know how powerful money is, Ms. Turner. I don't think that anybody questions what money does, the influence that it has. It's just crazy how some of the commentators out there, Senator Turner, they I don't know. I saw one of them saying it was a purity test for Elizabeth Warren to make that statement that she wouldn't take that money. They flipped it. They flipped it like, oh, you're being elitist because you won't take the billionaire money, as if billionaires are underclass or they're somehow disenfranchised.
They need somebody to fight. Ain't that something? Guess what kind of upside down world we living in when people sitting up there defending the billionaires? Somebody put out a tweet saying the billionaire has just as much right to make a donation as a waitress or some crazy mess like that. We have really gone down You got folks out there defending the billionaire class. They know exactly what they're doing. We cannot fall for it. It is an illusion. This is not about a purity test. This is about doing what is right, what is just, and what is good. And in the 21st century, if we want to make excuses, didn't know if it could be done 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, I get it. But now we know, and there are no more excuses about why we as a nation, number one, can't come up with some real campaign finance reform in this country. And secondly, grassroots, the grass tops will never do it without us making a demand. Brother Frederick Douglass described it this way: power conceives nothing without a struggle. Power conceives nothing without a demand. It never has and it never will. And so we must demand it. And guess what? The grassroots are demanding real campaign finance reform in this country. And that starts with elected officials not having fundraisers and wine caves that only multimillionaires and the billionaires can afford to go to. And you know what? I mean, I'm sure I didn't see everybody in that room, Mr. Black, but I'm sure it was sure lacking some diversity up in there too.
Yeah.
In the wine cave from pictures I saw.
Yeah.
No brownness and no blackness up in there.
None. I didn't see any at all.
So that's another thing, caste and class.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Yeah, they go together, don't they?
Don't they? Always.
I want
so why can't they raise money with the grassroots? Tell them they can do this. They just don't want to. And it's just more they doing the bidding for the corporate Wall Street elite class. That's what they're doing. And we can't fall for it. Call them out on it. Tell them being decent, good, and just is purity, then damn it, sign me up. I'm taking the purity test, if that's what it means.
That's what it means. Just to switch gears just a little bit, we're getting closer and closer to Iowa. Things are getting serious. I know for us, I'm a political nerd at this point, Senator Turner, so I've been tuned in for quite some time, but I think Americans are really just starting to kind of get glued in. How are things looking in Iowa? What's been the reaction on the ground in Iowa?
Oh, tremendous. I mean, we are doing it. I was just there last weekend, the weekend before Christmas. I was in Iowa. Oh, my God. Can I just tell you, we did house parties. So, while the senator was holding it down in California, I left California right after the debate. I left on Friday, and I came into Iowa. I was in Des Moines. I hit Waterloo, Iowa. It was spectacular. So, Tim, we did these house parties on a Saturday night, if you can picture that. The Saturday night before Christmas, picture that, in a house, a family's house, almost 60 people piled up into that house. And most of those people were Black. Hello, somebody in Iowa. Black folks wanted me to say we do exist in Iowa. They wanted me to get that word out there. There are Black people in Iowa. But the beautiful thing, I mean, the brothers were out, the sisters were out. Our white sisters and brothers came too. But that is how we are going to win Iowa, one household at a time, and talking to the totality of the community, whether you're Black, whether you're white, whether you're Hispanic, whether you're indigenous. This is a multiracial, multi-generational movement that Senator Bernie Sanders has been the champion of for a very long time. But it was beautiful. On a Saturday night, do you hear what I'm saying to you? It's a Saturday night before Christmas. And we having a Bernie Sanders 2020 house party all up in Des Moines, Iowa, doing the daggone thing. Young people dominated that space. I'm telling you, it was a sight to behold. And I was there. I got the pictures. We got receipts.
Wow.
We always got to keep the receipts.
Got to keep those.
So that's just, yes, we do. That's just anecdotal. But, the senator is winning. I mean, the polling is showing, and we know it's snapshots in time before folks get all riled up. It is a snapshot in time. But the snapshot in time is showing very clearly that the senator is winning. I mean, real clear politics, average of the Iowa polls, that, senators within 2 points of first place in Iowa. And then there was a recent poll that had him either, tied for first or solidly in second. So the senator is rising up. And you know why he is? Because we're not taking any voter for granted. We earn each and every vote. Tim Black, we're not like some candidates who think their proximity to the Black president gives them a Black firewall. Hello, somebody. We're not like other candidates who just have a flat-out disdain and disregard for the Black community. Hello, somebody. We are in these states, be it Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada, California. Senator Poland, #1 in California. South Carolina, and every other state in between. We are in those states on the ground earning these folks' votes. That's what we are doing. That is what the Bernie 2020 campaign is about, and we're going to keep on pushing. So mainstream media might not tell you what's going on in Iowa, but I stopped by to tell you on the Tim Black Show what's going on in Iowa. We doing the daggone thing.
Yeah, there's an article that came out today. I don't know if you had a chance to see it. It's got me a little worried.
The New York Times.
This one is this one is Politico. And it's weird. Now,
okay.
Now, what they're saying, it's got me concerned because they're starting to really notice Bernie Sanders' campaign. And it says, Democratic insiders, Bernie could win the nomination. So that title alone tells me that they said the Democratic insiders, because we already know he could win. But the fact that they're recognizing him, even with the Bernie blackout, are you concerned that now he's going to get more focus, which will, bring more bad articles, more fabrications, more false narratives?
I mean, go ahead, bring the thunder and the rain. I mean, they did everything. They did that in 2016. You remember what the Washington Post had 16 negative articles about Senator Bernard Sanders in 16 hours?
Yes.
Okay, so we're not going to go through anything in 2020 that we haven't already gone through in 2016. We were being prepared for this moment right here. So, yeah, they're going to get dirty. I mean, from the anti-Semite smears that have been going on, which is, I'm trying to keep this as PG as I can. From that to the ageism that we accept in this country, these same people who hashtag woke, but they don't mind ageism being bantied about, especially if it's against Senator Sanders. So you know what? We are ready.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that ageism. That's horrible stuff. And anti-Semitism. No one talks about Bernie being the first Jewish president. I mean, I think that's something
they don't want
notable.
to talk about that.
Yeah, remarkable.
They don't want to talk about that.
Remarkable.
And then the other thing, the senator is doing the best among women. Hello, somebody.
What?
The smear they gave him last time? They said, he can't perform with women. He's not performing with black people and other people of color. So now they don't have that. So they got to go to other stuff. That's why there's anti-Semitism stuff coming up. Because, see, check the box on people of color. Check. Check the box on women. Check. So now they got to find some other lie to tell. See, so they full of it. Instead of focusing in on this race and letting the people decide who their champion is, they want to get in here and try to muddy the waters. But folks are not going to buy it. They're really not. People are over it.
Yeah, it's hard to sell that whole Bernie bro thing if you got mostly women supporting your campaign. It doesn't kind of fit, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Right. Earlier this year, the woman that said that he made her skin crawl and she ain't know why. She couldn't quite put a finger on it before she put that smear out there. Now I wonder what she got to say. And you got people like Congresswoman Ilhan Omar supporting the senator. I wonder what she got to say now. So all of that, and then from women in the Congress all the way to grassroots women who walk, who navigate their communities every single day are supporting Senator Sanders from all walks of life. So they can't use that anymore. And Senator got more support among people of color than any other candidate. By the standards that they used in 2016, some of these candidates shouldn't be in the race. But see, I see they didn't change the tunes. It's okay not to have so many black folks supporting you as long as your name is not Bernard Sanders. See, they change the rules of the game as they go. That's how you know they full of it. Senator Bernie Sanders is a champion of the people. He's been on this justice journey for over 50 years. Even when he didn't have the honorable in front of his name, he was on this journey. And he is the type of leader that we need for a time such as this. I mean, Tim, only over 500,000 people don't have a roof over their head at night all over this country. Homelessness is ravaging, is raging. Places like Hawaii and all over this country, huge populations of homeless. San Francisco, you name it, Seattle, all over 500,000 of our sisters and brothers sleeping out on the streets every single night. We got over 80 million people in this country either underinsured or not insured at all. Something is wrong with that. Babies go to sleep. They go to bed if they have a bed to lay in, hungry at night. The income, the wages of the average worker is not keeping up with inflation. Far too many people have to work 2 and 3 jobs just to survive. I was just reading an article the other day where this young woman had 4 jobs. and she fell asleep in her car, and she keeps gasoline in her car because she was always running out of gas. She died. You know what? One job should be enough. That's why we need people to have a bigger dream and a new vision, that we do deserve certain things, and I use the word deserve advisedly. We deserve clean water, clean air, clean food. You deserve health care. You deserve to be able to send your babies to college if that's where they want to go, or to a trade school, and not be a mama or daddy who has to look into their eyes and say, hey, baby, you're on your own because I might not be able to afford to send you. You deserve that. Mm-hmm. We deserve better than what we're getting, Tim Black, and that's what Senator Bernard Sanders, that is what his message has been all along. Hashtag roll the tape, hashtag receipts, and you will see the consistency of Senator Bernard Sanders. I always say, Tim, look, you don't need the copies when you got the original, baby. Why you going to go for the copies when you got the original? The original is Bernard Sanders. The person who ain't going to sell you out is Senator Bernie Sanders. The champion that we need for a time such as this is Senator Bernard Sanders. He is the total antithesis of that man that we got in the White House right now, and his only special interest will be the people of this country. The class war, as the senator said, hey, if we're going to have one, might as well let it tilt to the side of the working class and the poor in this country. So come on, baby, let's do this. We can do this, Tim. We can. And I appreciate your activism and your strength. I mean, you get folks straight, and you don't let folks come to you with any old nonsense, and we need more of that. If it was not for independent media like you, and some of your other colleagues out there, I don't know where we would be, not just the progressive movement, but where we would be as a nation, because you guys really give different perspectives to give a holistic picture that, unfortunately, on far too many of the mainstream media, we just don't get these days.
Yeah, well, I thank you so much for that. Recently, it's been kind of rough. They say that we got Trump derangement syndrome. I think they got Trump sympathy syndrome, and they're going a little bit too far to make excuses for Donald Trump. And in their frustration with the DNC and with the Democratic establishment, I feel they just they've overcorrected to the point where they're defending Trump to the, he's not a good guy. He's he's not helping poor people. Just to switch gears a little bit, South Carolina. A lot of people need to talk to me about South Carolina. They say, Tim, what about Joe Biden in South Carolina? Why can't Bernie get more of the black vote? I know you said that people of color, Bernie's doing outstanding with Latinos when you combine people of color. But what can we do? What's the plan for South Carolina in trying to remove that stigma that they have, that narrative that he can't get the older black voters?
Well, we're there. I mean, Tim, listen, the senator has been in the great state of South Carolina about 12 times now. He's attended over 50 events, and that's not including the events that I go to and other surrogates like Brother Danny Glover or Dr. Cornel West, Dr. Victoria Dooley, Phil Agnew, the Killer Mike. I mean, you name it. I know I'm leaving out some of the national surrogates, so my apologies. So that doesn't even count. That's just him himself. So again, back to my, a point that I made earlier, even though I did it in a smart aleck way, is that we're not taking any votes for granted. We're not assuming that black folks are a firewall. And can I pause? Let me put a pin in that. It really is a shame. And I want black folks to think, but I want all people to think about this, but black people in particular. What other group in this country is considered somebody else's firewall? I'll pause and let somebody answer that for us. Nobody. And you know what? It really is quite insulting, whether it's this election or past elections. Black America, we should not allow anybody, and I mean anybody, to call us somebody else's firewall. People need to earn our votes every single election cycle without fail, and not just determine that we're going to be somebody's firewall because of their proximity to the black president. It is insulting. Okay, so I'm going to take the pen out of that. I had to get that off my chest. This is we are there, and we're having big meetings, medium meetings, big events. We're just all over that state. We have over 80 people in that state. The majority of those folks are from the great state of South Carolina, and the majority of the folks who work in South Carolina are African Americans. So we're showing symbolically what we're trying to do. Our elders, whether it be South Carolina all over, they got a decision to make. Are we going to continue down the same path, or are we going to choose another one? Are they going to do what is necessary to guarantee that their children and their grandchildren, if they have any, have a better future? Or are we going to continue doing the same old thing? We must ensure. I mean, who? Anybody that's a parent, a grandparent, why wouldn't you want to know that your children and your children's children can have college for all, or that their student debt could be canceled or medical debt could be canceled? Why wouldn't you want to go with the champion that has the biggest, most robust plan to help HBCUs in this country that have been left so far behind? You know, Tim, Black women carry the largest amount of college debt. Why wouldn't you want a president that's going to focus on that? Why wouldn't you want a president that understands that Medicare for all is good for everybody, but when you distill down the health variables and factors and all the hell that Black people continue to catch, that Black women maternal rates are higher than anybody else, our infant mortality rate higher than anybody else, we catch more hell. Why wouldn't you want to have a champion that sees the disparities within the disparities and has put forth policy plans, both some introduced in the Senate as he sits now, but as a candidate for running for the President of the United States of America, that had the vision to try to turn around institutional racism? You know, the most recent poll in South Carolina, I think it was the Change Research poll, really, it shows that the Senate is in second place right now, 20% of the vote. And the Charleston Post and Courier notes that the senator has gained, Tim, wait for it, 7 points in that state.
Wow.
Gaining slowly but surely. So what we need, we got young people. The Essence poll, a poll that Essence did, I want to say it was in August, but they polled, you know, Black women from all ages, and the age group 18 to 29, I think it was, support Senator Sanders. 18 to 29, young Black women support Senator Sanders. So what I'm hoping has happened and will continue to happen over this holiday, that we will get younger African Americans having those conversations with their parents and their grandparents and their aunties and their uncles about why they truly do believe and support the vision of Senator Bernie Sanders, and to have the chance to turn people around. Because it's not just people like me flying in, you know, even though South Carolina's become my second home. It really is when people have those down-home conversations with their loved ones and with their friends that really is going to turn the tide. But the senator is earning every single vote there. We're not taking any for granted. We have about 33 endorsers in that state, Tim, light years away from where we were in 2016. 30 of those 33 are African-American folks. Hello, somebody. We got 9 members of the legislature supporting the senator. When I talk about just being in Iowa, Representative, Dr., Reverend, and he got all them titles, Ivory Thigpen. He was in Iowa with me because he's from Iowa. So even though he's a state rep in South Carolina, he went home for the holidays and he said, "Hey, S&T Bernie 2020 campaign, I'm willing to do some work even on my Christmas vacation with my family." And so he and I both were in Iowa, this past weekend right before Christmas. So we're working to earn the vote, whether it be Iowa or South Carolina. We are working really, really, really hard to earn the vote of every community. And African American community, we know how influential they will be, or that they are in the primary process in South Carolina. So we working hard, Tim. It won't be for the lack of not working hard to try to win Black people over, to try to earn their vote.
Right. Absolutely. You know, and I know you've seen it online too. A lot of people are concerned. A lot of Black folks are talking about the income inequality, wealth inequality of Black folks. And, you know, people are concerned. They say, well, Tim, what specifically is Bernie Sanders going to do to address Black issues and the struggles of Black folks? I tell them about the broadband program, which I think is a phenomenal program. I tell them about college. I tell them about healthcare. But what do you say to them? I know you get this question often. I saw you got it with Charlamagne the God on the Breakfast Club. I don't know any better way to put it to them except that these policies, Bernie's policies, I believe, are the most helpful to the Black community and for all people who are struggling financially. But the Black community, since we are struggling the worst, us and indigenous people.
Yeah.
What do you tell them, Nina, when because I know they address you with this often.
Yeah, all the time. The senator understands. You know, there was a study that came out that said it would take the Black community 228 years, Black family, to catch up with the average wealth of a white family if we continue the course that we're on. So if nothing changes, 228 years means it ain't never going to happen. if we continue the course that we're on. We cannot continue this course. The Black community nor this country can afford to continue this course, and we need to be ashamed as a nation to know that stats like that exist when it comes to the Black community. So the senator, his programs, first of all, going into that White House having a keen understanding that there are disparities in disparities. That's number one. Number two, when we think about what the senator, let's talk about his college plan, for example. You know, the fact that that Black women hold the highest amount of student debt. Think about how disposable income would flow into the Black community if we canceled student debt. That is immediate injection of money into the Black community vis-a-vis disposable income. College for all, another, and that includes trade schools. The senator's marijuana plan. Now, the fact that he wants to expunge all of the records of people who have marijuana charges, which we know that war on drugs hurt the African-American community in deeper ways than most because of the war on drugs and how it ravaged our community and treated us differently than everybody else. The legalization of marijuana will change that, and not just legalizing it, but expunging the records of people who have those charges, and then also creating a grant program that billions of dollars will be in to help the African-American community in particular. So that is another way. Closing private prisons, again, not allowing people to make profit off of the misery of other people, another way. His program for HBCUs to make them all, whether they're private or public, tuition free. And also to set up a portion of a program within there to make sure that our colleges and universities, our HBCUs, they have a lot of infrastructure debt, forgive that infrastructure debt. So, I mean, I could go on and on and on about the things that the senator is laser focused on how to help the African-American community. I mean, even things that, even when we look at the Green New Deal, for example, the number of jobs that this will create, those jobs will go to the African-American community as well as our other sisters and brothers. In Medicare for all, now, Tim Black, this is personal for me because my mother died at the young age of 42 years old. Medicare for all, our health is our wealth, it's our true wealth. And so making sure that we all have health care. African Americans suffer disproportionately heart disease, diabetes, obesity. I mean, you name it, we're plagued by it. Having a health care system now that Black people don't have to grovel to get that care will do a lot. And that is why we need those things to be universal, because if they're only for African Americans, we know it ain't going nowhere. But if you have universal programs, that will change the tide for our community and other communities as well.
Well, I want to commend you, Senator Turner, because I believe that you've been helping us had this conversation with Senator Sanders, because I think he's come a long way in being able to communicate his understanding of these issues. I noticed in the last debate, they asked Joe Biden about reparations. He started talking about immigration. He switched the subject.
Oh my God.
And I noticed also, I don't know if you noticed it, but no one talked about it in the media. No one called it out. I was the only person that I know of independent media to call it out. I noticed it was they gave him a pass.
And I'm sorry, because and had that been the senator, they'd still be shouting to the rooftop, change the daggone subject. When you can't even have a conversation about Black folks on the debate stage, just change the subject. I mean, the senator has committed, he is going to sign, H.R. 40, and we know that is the bill that Congressman John Conyers have been pushing, I think, Tim, what was it, since the 80s?
Yes, since the 80s.
Pushing that bill since the 80s. But he's not going to wait just for that, for the Congress to act. The things that you and I were just talking about are ways to change the system and get that system to bend more towards the wheel of justice. Even when we didn't talk about this much, but, you just made me think when you asked that question, even raising the by instituting a $15 an hour minimum wage. 38% of black workers, federal workers, I think, will benefit from that. So, I mean, having a job guarantee, making sure that all Americans have good paying jobs, dealing with the unemployment rate among African-American men especially. None of those things are lost on the senator, closing these gaps. He understands that, and he wants to protect our people, all working people. But you asked me a question about black people, and so the senator, he does want to protect black America. Discrimination, we face that. All of those things that we just have to deal with as black people, the senator knows and he understands, and also equally importantly, you got people like me. Okay, so just trust and believe. Senator Turner is in there. I'm advocating for the working poor all over this country and advocating for black people as well. But the senator, he does get it.
Now here goes a question for you, Senator Turner, that is going to be a little different. But people are saying to me, they're like, Tim, and it's a theory people have. Does the Bernie Sanders campaign coordinate with other campaigns? Tim, you don't understand. They're working together. You don't understand. And I want to know, could you tell me if they are like some type of deals being cut or are people, I don't want to name names because I know you don't do the name thing, but I don't know if this makes sense to you. But people are saying, Tim, well, that's happening because they are working together and they're friends on the debate stage, or they're, I just don't believe it. But you would know more than I would know, obviously. Is that the case? That I thought everybody was trying to win the presidency. I didn't know that there are people working together to win it together. I don't know.
I sigh deeply at that. No, what you just said, everybody on that stage wants to be president. This is a contest. And so when you're in a contest, your team is trying to be number one. Senator Sanders is in this race to win it. And so he may have some very fine, as he say, very fine people on the stage. And some of those very fine people, I put in air quotes, that's the senator talking, not me, very fine people on the stage. Some of those fine people are his friends, but this is a competition. And the example that I give is basketball. And pick your favorite basketball player. For me, it was Michael Jordan. Now, he got many friends on the other team. And I'm sure that they socialize together. I'm sure their kids socialize together. They may even vacation together. But when they step on that court, it is competition. Michael Jordan was trying to win for his team. And then after the competition is over, we will go back to being friends. I want folks to visualize that for this presidential debate. Not just the debate, the competition itself, but we see it play out, with me using that sports analogy, on the debate stage more succinctly when you see everybody on that stage. There may be some fine people on that stage along with the senator, and some of them may be his friends. But when he steps on the court, this is a competition. So, no, he is not coordinating with any other campaign. He is running to become the 46th president of the United States of America. And the last time I checked, only one person can win this contest, and the senator is in it to win it.
Wow. Well, I totally understand. I appreciate the analogy. That was perfectly put. I agree. I think what it is, Nina, is that Bernie is so cordial. He seemed like, one minute they say he's mean, next minute they saying he's too nice. Like, I don't know what they want the man to be. He can only be himself. But I think it's that he's not.
That's right.
He's not. He's not negative He's not negative and attacking like we've seen some others have done in the debates. I think that's part of it.
No, it is, and he's never been one. He stays on the issues. So when he rises up on folks, it's really only on the issues. I mean, one of the best displays on that debate stage for me, there were many that the senator had, was when he called out the billionaire donors of the vice president and Mr. Buttigieg, saying that they are in a fierce competition to see who can have the most. And he's just stating the facts. It's a contrast. This is a contest. So I need all the folks, because, you see them people on Twitter, why can't they just all get along? Or they giving talking points to the Republicans? This is a contest. And in a contest, you have to contrast. The records must be contrast. And that is what is going on. That is the only way that the senator rolls. He does not go for other stuff. He only talks about his record in comparison to the records of the other people. And in that, those folks are blessed to be running against Senator Bernard Sanders. They really are.
Well, you see the differences there.
He stays on the issues.
Yeah, you see the differences there. You got people saying he's going too hard, that is, helping the Republicans, and then on the other side, we got people saying he don't go hard enough, he's not tough enough, he need to fight hard. So I get it every which way, but go every which way but loose. This is crazy. But just to kind of close out, Nina.
We can't please everybody.
Right, that's the thing. We can't. What do we do to win this thing? What I know grassroots, I try to tell people, hey, in 2018, we set records in the midterms. People don't realize there's a lot of people coming out to vote. People are reacting. What do you see the path to victory for Bernie Sanders to not only win the nomination, but defeat Donald Trump if he wins the nomination?
To really continue to run with a fervor. Dr. King called it the fierce urgency, and now, Reverend Dr. King is so quotable. That's really what it is. Or in the words of Congresswoman Barbara Jordan, what the people want is very simple. They want an America as good as its promise. And that really is the foundational principles of the Bernie 2020 campaign. The senator's vision is about creating an America as good as its promise for Black folks, as good as its promise for our white sisters and brothers, as good as its promise for our Hispanic sisters and brothers, as good as its promise for our indigenous sisters and brothers, as good as its promise for our gay, lesbian, transgender, queer sisters and brothers, as good as its promise for the young, as good as its promise for the seasoned, as good as its promise for women, as good as its promise for men, as good as its promise for children. Tim Black, it is for all of us. And so what we need is more grassroots leaders, citizen leaders, to rise up in their respective communities, make a phone call, knock on a door. If you have social media, use it. But let me tell you something. We're not going to win this battle just by social media warriors. Now, social media is good. It gets the stuff out there quickly and far and wide. But nothing takes the place of good old-fashioned knocking on doors, picking up the phone, or sending a text message to somebody that you know. So I want people who believe in the vision of what is good, what is just, and what is right to go to BernieSanders.com and sign up to volunteer, or go to our Burn app, and you can get that in the Apple Store or Google Play. Sign up for that. Let's get in these streets. Let's take grassroots power with grass tops power, and baby, we're going to have transcendence in this country. And with these hands, we will ensure that Senator Bernard Sanders is the 46th president of these United States of America, giving the poor and the working class and the barely middle class in this country more than a fighting chance, not just for themselves, but for generations to come. This is about transcendence, Tim Black. So we are in this thing. And that is why your sister is traveling all over this country with some of my dear, dear friends, trying to make the difference. Well, we're going to do this. We're going to do this.
Yeah.
We're shocking all the world. We're going to do this.
I believe it. I just want you to know that if you need me to come down to South Carolina and do a No Joe tour, I'm down to do it. I got buttons. I got T-shirts, No Joe. It's real simple. It's only 5 letters, No Joe. And I'm down to help out. Thank you so much, Nina, for taking time out. I know you finally home, touching down with the hubby and the family. So thank you so much for taking time out of your day. I appreciate you. We respect you. We love you. And we just want you to know, as much as we love Bernie, we love you just the same, sister.
Oh, thank you, Tim. That means so much to me and to all of your listeners and viewers. Just thank you all for being in this fight for justice with us. And I'm glad to have that love. I feel that love. I am a champion. I'm a hell-raising humanitarian for all people. And I want folks to know that the senator is just the same. Love, peace, happiness, joy, fierceness. And we must fight. We must get comfortable with being uncomfortable. When you're talking revolutionary change, it's not going to be pleasant while we're going through it. But in the end, we're going to look back on this moment, Tim Black, and you are very much a part of it. And again, some of your other colleagues in independent media, we're going to look back on this and say to ourselves, it was worth getting in this fight. It really was. We can't sit on the sidelines. Things are too serious. We got to get in it to win it. So hello, somebody with these hands. We are going to transform this country, and we will make Senator Bernard Sanders the 46th president of the United States of America. God bless you, Tim, and I look forward to interviewing with you again, and we would love to have you in South Carolina.
You got it. Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen. Go find Senator Nina Turner. And I'm going to go ahead and end the call now, Senator Turner, so you can go do what you got to do. Thank you for your time. Guys, go follow Nina Turner, Senator Turner, at Nina Turner on Facebook and on Twitter. You heard her. Go get the Burn app. I hope that I want to thank everybody who submitted questions and ideas for this interview. It was an amazing interview as usual. Senator Nina Turner is a force of nature, guys. I hope that clears up some of the questions that people have. And we're going to continue the conversation. We'll keep it going. I will see you guys soon. Don't forget, go to timblacktv.com to find out more about our broadcast. Also, text me cornbread, the word cornbread, to 21,000 to join the Tim Black text group list. And I'll see you soon.